believe that we're already at the end of my balcony wedding series. In the next video, I'll show you my actual wedding day footage. I'm so excited! Now let's jump right into this balcony decor. This was my most anticipated DIY for the home wedding. I wanted a mixture of fresh and dried foliage to create the look of a whimsical meadow in the middle of a metropolis. The contrast between nature and industry has always fascinated me, so I naturally gravitated towards this theme of Eden in the city. After choosing the fresh foliage, I went searching for the perfect dried florals for a nice pop of color. Dried florals are great for events because they can't go bad. They're already dead. And that should be enough. Our balcony was completely full when we first started, with vegetables, fruits, and flowers abound. The most difficult part of all of this was finding a place for them. So, into my art studio they went. Now this is what I call a blank canvas. Let's get started. First, I cleaned the area as best as I could, and then brought in the wild grass with the help of Ginny. I laid out the foundation of the arrangement, leaving space in between the railings for my wedding party to stand. I wanted them to look as though they were part of the arrangements themselves. Once everything looked balanced, I covered the planters with the leftover baby's breath from my tablescape project. The delicate white flowers softened the arrangements even more, adding a kind of ethereal element, which I loved. The rest of the arrangement was kind of intuitive. I just selected one color at a time and tried to balance them throughout the aisle. The idea of Eden in the city first came about during a premarital counseling session with John. Our counselors had just officiated an intimate wedding at the park, with no one else around besides the couple themselves. They said that the atmosphere was far from lonely. It was heartfelt and refreshing. They were reminded once again of the first marriage that ever took place, the marriage of Adam and Eve. There, in the lush garden, God gave his daughter, Eve, to Adam. It was a wedding officiated by God himself, a beautiful illustration of love and commitment between two people joined together by their Maker. In the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve were meant to enjoy themselves, cultivate the land, and be fruitful and multiply. Of course, we all know what happened next. Their purpose became marred by sin and disobedience. However, because of God's redeeming love and unending forgiveness, John and I are now able to experience a taste of what Eden should have been like, right in the thick of 2020. Because of the pandemic, we had to reevaluate what it means to get married. Would our marriage still feel valid if we couldn't have a proper venue or have all of our loved ones there with us? Would our excitement for this chapter or commitment for each other dwindle if we couldn't have a traditional wedding? As silly as it sounded, these were all the questions we were forced to address because of the pandemic. The difficult conversations we shared ultimately brought us closer together, and we were reminded once again that marriage should be a beautiful, intimate union between two people, with God as their witness. It is a lifelong commitment to die to self. It's not about giving and taking, but only giving, hoping that our partner does the same. To love him is to love myself, and to hate him is to hate myself. Marriage is a wonderful and painful thing all at once. We realize that marriage is ultimately a calling. There is a partnership, a commitment, and a goal in sight. To be caught up in the rubbish of wedding details and personal preferences is to be distracted from the end goal. We are called to withstand all the complexities of becoming one, not only to enjoy each other's company more, but to become more obedient to God and more loving to others. Marriage is mission-oriented, and without that godly mission at the forefront of our minds, even a place like Eden can become desolate and unfruitful. So I'm grateful for a teammate like John, who shows so much care and intentionality in everything he does. He loves God with his actions, not just words, and it inspires me to live out my faith more consistently. I'm excited to marry him right here on this balcony, and I can't wait to share the moment with all of you. If you enjoy my devotional videos here on YouTube, you'll surely love the 30 guided meditation videos I made called The Abundant Life. In the guided meditations, I dive a lot deeper into topics such as acceptance, identity, and purpose. This is great for anyone who's struggling to find out who they are and their own path in life. You can sign up for the guided meditations at girlandtheword.com/theabundantlife. I've also linked it in the description below. Hope to see you there.